So you find the vendor, you're ready to start your subclassing, and what you notice is that all of your skills are level 1. Well, I want to show you why this is the case and how you go from level 1 to level 50 in 40 minutes or less, and it's a really quick and optimized build. On top of this, I want to break down what subclassing is, so do pay close attention. There's a lot to go through. Hey, it's Dan, and welcome to Unified Gaming. So firstly, what is subclassing? Subclassing is a system added to the Elder Scrolls Online in Update 46. It allows you to mix and match class skill lines, and there are a few rules, but it's really sort of free in that regard. The main rule is that you always have to have one of your base class. So for myself, I am a Dragon Knight, which means I have to have one Dragon Knight skill line no matter what. I can choose to swap out the other two as free as I want. That said, if I do pick 2 skill lines from a different class, that is not allowed. So for this reason, I either have 2 Dragon Knights or I have 3 random skill lines, with one being a Dragon Knight. It's also worth stressing that when you first get the skill lines, they are level 1 at first. And sometimes when you actually look at them, they will be locked out and you won't even be able to use them. Now, the area that's a bit confusion is the fact that there is no kind of clarity with the achievements. So when you actually use the system, you'll start to earn some achievements such as this, Earthen Heart Master, which level 50 in a class skill line, and this basically gives you the ability to then unlock it in subclassing. So my first tip is when you log on, go through all of your characters and it will give you all of the progress you have tracked so far. What that means is when you come to this vendor and you do the quest, you'll be able to pick any subclass skill to choose from. That said, they will still be level 1. You can, however, then level them up. Once they are leveled up, they will carry their progress through to any character that you have. So if I pick this one, for example, you'll see that all of these are where they are. This is like not leveled, whereas this one is fully leveled up. So that progress will track across the entire account, which is really helpful. What this does mean, however, is we do need to grind, and that is really worth stressing. So how do we grind efficiently? What can you do? Well, you want to make a leveling build, and there's a few options and I've covered them on stream, but this is what I'm using for Black Rose Prison in particular. It is the fastest build that I found that is easy to set up, efficient, and it basically is unkillable. It is really good. So race wise, you can be any single race you want, so there's no rush there. And what we're doing with the attributes is we're trying to go and just get loads of health. Around 30k health is the sweet spot just because you don't die. You will die if you don't have less than this, and this means it's easy to stay alive. You don't have to really think about what you're doing. So that's really nice. The rest of these can just be put in Magicka or Stamina accordingly. You'll also notice the base class is a Dragon Knight. Now there's a Dragon Knight for a reason. When you level up in the Elder Scrolls Online, your skill lines gain XP based on the number of skills equipped, so the more skills you have on the bar, the quicker they level up. What this means is that we want to build where we can keep our entire front bar empty, but our back bar actually give us damage. And this is what we're trying to do. The Dragon Knight is the best for this because we can go down as a heavy attack build using Molten Armaments giving us Empower, which means we have Empower for a really long time, and that means we can just heavy attack and do really good damage. We then pair this with Blockade of Storms for concussion and off balance, which then works even nicer. And we have Ash Cloud or Cinderstorm for healing. And we have Legion Soul, which is a pull that you can use. If you don't have access to the scribing system yet, then note that this will come in the future patch for all players, and in the meantime, you can go down to Fighters Guild and get Silver Bolts, change it to Silver Leash. You'll also notice that all of my skill lines are pretty bare on the passives. I'm designing this build to have very minimal passives apart from the Destruction Staff and then the Agility. Everything else is pretty much bare bones because we are trying to save our skill points, because every skill that we put takes 2 skill points, the skill and the morph and the passives. As we level up through this route, we will only grab the skills that we need, we will morph them as we need and skip all of the passives as we do not have enough points for that. It is not worth trying to get every passive, you'll be there for a lot longer. It's also worth noting that the champion points with this build have been optimised for Black Rose Prison. For the blue ones we are using Fighting Finesse, Weapons Expert, Deadly Aim and Thaumaturge. For the red ones, we are using Bounder's Vitality, Siphoning Spells, Strategic Reserve, and Bloody Renewal. The Strategic Reserve is loads of health recovery, which basically is passive healing. It helps stay alive, it's quite useful, but you can change this if you wish. And on the green ones, we have Steed's Blessing, but what's really important is this brand new one, Disciplined Artisan. This gives you more experience, so this is definitely worth running. As for the armor sets itself and how it's all laid out, there is a superstar which will help people, so feel free to pause the video here and take into account what you need. But we use a Mighty Tudor, which gives us our major resolve at all times. We then have Trainee on the chest, Heartland Conqueror in the front bar. So when we switch to the Heartland Conqueror, what will happen is that you will see our sets will turn on. We get the bonus experience, so this is now 18% rather than the 11, so that's quite helpful. We then have Mechanical Acuity on the back bar. When we switch to the back bar, we put down our dots. This will proc automatically doing damage, and then we can carry that crit chance, means we kill things even faster. We use Pale Ordering to give passive healing, and the rest of it is kind of self-explanatory. If you get any questions about the build, let me know down below, but this is what I've done because it's easy to craft, it's easy to access, and more importantly, it works on any build. You're just heavy attacking with loads of survivability. For the run itself, I'm going to go through and show you how to do the run, do a full run live. I will mute the mic whilst I do it, and I'll speed up the footage. It takes around about 40 minutes to go from level 1, as you see here, all the way to level 40. For the run itself, we're going to hop all the way over to Murkmire, and we're looking for Black Rose Prison. Once inside, you want to make sure that it is on normal, because it will be significantly harder if it's not. When we get inside, you can do this as a duo for an additional 10% XP boost, which I would recommend if you can, but it's not needed. The XP gains are still ridiculously fast and it's easy to do. Once inside, we're going to run down to the arena, and my advice would be not to use the scroll for the first probably 2 rounds, simply because we're trying to maximize the scrolls. They cost money, they're expensive, and you end up in a couple of minutes. So inside, you'll notice that you have the left side, which has the potion and the sustain. You got the shield, which will help you, the resurrection one, and then the speed boost. For the first round, we are literally just heavy attacking and killing stuff. It's easy to do. We've got a decent survivability without needing to do much. And the idea of this is that we're just going to heavy attack and kill people. The heavy attack does have splash damage, so it's worth just pulling them together. And the reason we have the extra health, as you saw there, gives us that survivability should things go wrong. Is it the quickest way to kill things initially? No. But what you'll find is it starts to speed up the more you get used to it. And more importantly, round 2 is easier than round 1. So we already earned 50,000 XP doing this. And that's another 12,000 there. When you get good with this, what you can do is actually start to pull the people to you using our lesion. And then we can just heavy attack, skill if we have a spammable. Heavy attack, skill if you have a spammable. And you just repeat this. The reason why the DK is so good for this is that Empower lasts absolutely ages. So you don't really need to cast it too often. And once you've got through round 1, that's when you want to then use your potion and start to actually get your skills. But our Gravelord is already level 10. I then put down my AoEs again. I pull over the people. And again, you'll notice that what I've done is I've tried to make it so that it's really easy for us to have loads of skill points. If you have more skill points than this, then you will be able to have more damage and more damage passives. But I've obviously chosen to do it as a bare basic. And that's what this is doing. It's surviving, it's killing stuff. The XP gains are pretty decent in the bottom left, as you can see. Now, it's really worth that the skill lines you do pick, you are mindful of, obviously, how they work. If you can mix and match two that have a good spammable, that's great. But you can't always do that. I do appreciate this. Once they're dead, this is when you then want to go through and grab the additional ones. And you get into round 2. At the first start of round 2, you want to die here now. And the easiest way to do it is to kill one of these and stand next to it. When you die, it lets you reset the dungeon, but this is a chance for you to then put on your skills. I would recommend having 3 from Gravelord and 3 from Dark Magic. So essentially you have 3 from one class and 1 from the other. Morph them as you go along to ones you're more likely to use. And then when you're ready, you respawn, and this is when you then pop your scroll. So this is a 100% XP scroll. So you can see that we have these at 13, and our XP gain is going to go really, really high now. For this first one, start by the drink if you can. Pull over the things. So once you've sorted out your skill lines, the round will then start. You want to start as far south as you can. Here you'll find there will be a little fire mage that you want to kill quickly, and you pull the other things into you. And you just rinse and repeat. I would recommend focusing on this person here. And as you see, we've got 100,000 XP from doing that. Once that first pull is done, you go into the middle and you want to pull them over as quick as you can. If you need to, you do have these sigils that you can use, and you got your ult. And then the idea you're just trying to burst down the big group as quick as you can. So we got to our final wave within this, and this is the one where we want to die. It's worth pulling over the snipers again. Anybody who's off balance, you see that damage goes through the roof, which is great to see. And when you get to this point, you then want to kill one of these Atronachs and then stand inside it. And you'll see within that minute roughly of that round, we've gone up 5, 6, 7 levels. We're then going to morph our skills again. So I'm going to go for Blighted Blast Bones, that's more useful. Morph the Colossus as well. And then add in the additional ones down here. And you pick ones that you like the look of. If you're unsure, look at a PvP build if you're after that way, or PvE for which morph to go down. And then you just repeat. So I'm going to do a few more rounds of this, and then I'll probably pause the video and kind of come back towards the end where we're almost finished, so you can see where our skill lines are at, what we're doing. So you can see in 5 minutes we've gone from level 1 to 28, which shows you the speed and the power of this method. It is incredibly fast, and this is something you want to be doing yourself. So 20 minutes in, you can see our skill lines are at level 40 already. This is a ridiculously fast method, and as you've seen, I've paused between each death just to change a skill line or two. I'll continue to go forward, but this gives you a good idea of the XP gains and how quick you can level up. As you get further through, you may start to want to change a few things out. So I've swapped the ultimates around this time, around level 41, and I find that's a really good place to do it, as it gives you the opportunity to then get both ults morphed, which is really, really helpful, especially later on. So just checking in, you can see we're level 44 in half an hour. So hopefully this gives you an idea of the speed of the farm. I will put the mic off once more, but I hope you can appreciate like kind of how quick this actually is. It's a lot of damage, very easy to do, and the XP gain is just, it speaks for itself. And so after 40 minutes or so, you'll notice that our skills are now level 50. We've been able to go through and level up every single skill and morph it and get most almost max level within the morph as well. I typically recommend morphing to the one that you'd use, so if you're a PvP player, get the morph that's more preferable to you. Crystal Weapon in this instance is more good for ganking, which is what I need this for. You'll also notice we did not grab any passives as we did this because they slow us down and they cost 2 skill points each, which means you need loads more skill points than normal. With this setup, you can run this on a fresh character with very little sky shards farming, and this is really good to help you get into subclassing on alt, so it's what I would use. It's easy, it's efficient, and it's cheap. If you get any questions about the build, the route, why I'm doing what I'm doing, let me know in the comments below, but I hope you found this helpful, and as always, I want to say a massive thanks to all the YouTube and Patreon members. Before I go, I'm just going to show the superstar once more for people curious. I'll catch you next video or next stream, so take care guys, and bye!